As we remember Memorial Day, I think about those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for their country, for our freedoms. Let's take a moment to give them thanks. Take a moment to think of the people in your life that have given time, energy, portions of their lives for you, given their love to you. Let's give them thanks. Now think about the time that you have set aside for you, your own development of body, of mind, spirit. Give yourself thanks for that nurturing, that self-care. For the time that you have spent and the love that you have given to others, to the planet, service to organizations. Give thanks for the ability to do that. Appreciate that moment. Take another moment in the silence. Feel the gratitude and the peace of this moment. Once you're ready, bring your attention back to this room. Good morning. So I'm wondering, has anyone else found this whole COVID-19 adventure a little confusing? Way back when we were told, don't wear masks. We need the masks for other people and they won't help you. Remember that? Oh no, you better wear masks. We all need to wear masks. And then we had to bleach everything. That was the thing. If you could find bleach or Lysol or any of that. Oh, but maybe you don't need to bleach everything all the time. But keep washing your hands. That's important. Oh, and then we had the new variants. And now maybe we should be wearing 2 masks. Or maybe even more. I mean, there were people debating triple masking. So a couple of weeks ago, there was a surprise announcement. Vaccinated people don't need to wear masks anymore. Yay! Except you still do in California. And a few other places because we have to wait for more people to get vaccinated. So I hope through all of this confusion from the outside that you've taken time to listen to the wisdom within you and what Spirit is guiding you to do or not to do, however that works for you. Personally, as far as outside information, I like to be informed on the latest that science has to contribute to this. Yes, things change as they get more data. That's the nature of science. Even though I like to be informed on the facts as they're currently understood, I always take a moment when the latest understanding changes or the latest advice to run it by Spirit. I might not get a direct answer right away. I mean, that would be nice, but not always. But if it matters, I've found that one way or another, if we are listening, that an answer comes if it needs to. And that's what I do my best to follow. If all of our cues are from the outside of us, and we are either for or against what certain other people or certain other groups are doing or saying, it gets extra confusing. There's been a lot of that going on in this country for the past few years. It makes no sense, at least to me, to make an illness or its prevention and treatment a political issue. But that's part of this strange divisiveness that's been happening in this country and that we've been experiencing for some time. Yet sometimes when I've gone out wearing a mask trying to be safe, can't help but wonder if maybe it makes me unsafe a little bit. I've wondered if maybe I'm participating in a team uniform. I wonder if some people might respond to mask wearing like it's a gang color. And am I in danger of violence if I wear a mask? I mean, I've wondered that. I wonder so many funny things. You've probably heard that some people have gotten violent when they've been asked not to wear masks. It seems to me that's a strong reaction, and maybe there's something deeper going on here. I think some of this has to do with identity. Like, it really is a type of public display of whether you're on the red team or the blue team. Or maybe it's the QAnon team and the not QAnon team. I'm not sure. But with masks starting to come off now, it's going to be pretty confusing for some people. How are you going to know who's a good guy or who's a bad guy if nobody's wearing masks anymore? Does anyone here remember the Dr. Seuss story, The Sneetches? Anyone? Yeah. Well, this confusion reminds me of that story. The Sneetches were large, yellow, bird-like creatures. Some of them were born with stars on their bellies, and some were not. The ones with stars really thought they were special, and they didn't mingle with the unstarred Sneetches. Well, Sylvester McMonkey McBean came to town one day, and he saw an amazing money-making opportunity. For $5 a piece, he allowed the unstarred Sneetches to go through the star-on machine, and they got stars on their bellies. Well, this really upset the star-bellied Sneetches, because how are they going to tell if someone was a real star-bellied Sneetch? And who are they going to hang out with, and who are they going to snub? So for $5 a piece, he allowed the original star-bellied Sneetches to go through the star-off machine. And now they could say, okay, no stars is the cool thing. So this went on back and forth until nobody was sure who was a star-bellied Sneetch and who wasn't. And this is how Dr. Seuss said it. Until neither the plane nor the star-bellies knew whether this one was that one, or that one was this one, or which one was what one, or what one was who. So why does this matter? Well, many friends and family members have been physically separated for a year or more. And now we're starting to get the chance to mingle again in person. Before COVID-19, there were some hard and fast lines in many families around red team and blue team issues. And this made for some tense moments at family gatherings should certain topics be discussed. So what will we find now? Are the lines as strong as ever, or are we going to find some blurring or hints of blurring? I've noticed some movement with several people, some in my own family. Maybe you've noticed this too. Not that anyone is ready to change their beliefs, but there seems to be more willingness to discuss things, or even to shift priorities as we start to notice there's more important things than whether we're on this team or that team. Besides identity, there's one other very important thing that has contributed to this separation into different camps, and that's our basic understanding of what's real and what's not. It seems to depend on where we get our news about what's going on in the world, whether that's from social media or from this news channel or that news channel. Using the mask issue as an example, from certain sources of information, you could see mask wearing as a way to keep you safe and healthy. Or from other sources, you could see it as potentially dangerous to your own health, or even one of the ways that you are being controlled by evil forces. If someone believes mask wearing is a dangerous thing, it would make sense that they would get violent about being forced to wear one. I might not like the violence, but I can understand it. If I believe those same things, I could see that it would be very frightening to feel forced to wear one. I've had some interesting conversations with my mom lately about the vaccine. She has a friend who gives her all the latest information through conspiracy theory videos. My mom shared some of them with me to get my feedback, and I had to find some very creative and polite ways to say that most of them appeared to be hogwash. I asked her why she watches these if they upset her, and she said she wants to be informed. I really want my mom to get vaccinated. I want her to be safe. I realize she also wants me to be safe. And she was thinking that some of this information might be helpful to me as I was preparing to get vaccinated. One of the anti-vax videos explained that vaccinated people were dangerous for unvaccinated people to be around. It seems that somehow vaccinated people were going to infect unvaccinated people with vaccine particles. And we're going to be the source of new variants. Yeah, what can you do? They have impressive graphs. Some of them have doctor in front of their name. Or dentist, or I don't know, something. My best advice to my mom was to pray about this and to do what she feels guided to do. She actually did get an answer. She told me she woke up one morning knowing that she should get vaccinated and felt really peaceful about it. She wondered if that was God's answer. I told her that it sure sounded like she was experiencing that peace that passes understanding that you hear about in the Bible. So I felt relieved that she was going to get vaccinated. She planned to make an appointment the next day. When the next day came, though, she let me know that she had done some more research. Yeah, you know what that means. In other words, she talked to her friend and watched more videos, and was instead going to try vitamins and some other possible preventions and treatments that she heard about. So I still don't feel comfortable going to visit her. What makes me feel the most uncomfortable is that she felt clear for a moment that God was guiding her to get vaccinated, and then seemed to lose that when guidance from outside and fear from inside took her in a different direction. That saddens me, and I will have to wait for my own answer from within on when I can travel to Colorado to see her. My brother, who's in Florida, he recently had COVID. He got it really bad and wasn't sure he was going to make it for a while. He's an evangelical Christian and was going to a big revival there in Florida. Of course, no one was wearing masks or social distancing because we're having a revival. Yeah. So after 2 days of revivaling, he was praying. And it was his experience while he was praying that God told him not to go back for day 3. But he was having such a good time. And God, this is for you after all. Well, he did go back and realized later that it was a mistake. Sitting in front of him on that 3rd day was a man that was coughing and coughing. Looking back, he believes that was when he got COVID. Both my brother and mother have very different views of God than I do, but in their own ways, they each experienced divine guidance. That's what it looked like to me. Their stories remind me to pay attention and make sure that I follow the guidance that I get when I do. Sometimes inner guidance gives us what seems to be odd information. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was telling me about a time that he received a large grocery store gift card from someone, and Spirit told him not to put it in his wallet. And he was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. The safest place for me to put this is in my wallet. But he paid attention. He put it in his pocket next to his wallet. And it wasn't long after that he lost his wallet and his credit cards and his money and his driver's license. But he still had grocery money because he paid attention and he followed it. So it didn't make any sense at the time, but 8 cents after. We don't know if other people around us are listening to their inner guidance or not. My responsibility is to do my best to follow mine. I can't control what others will or won't do. But I'm not responsible for what they do either, and I can't live in fear of that. I trust the first unity principle that there is one presence and one power acting in the universe and in my life. In my understanding, God is big enough to include everything and everyone, as well as all of our choices, even the ones that might be seen as mistakes. I trust that with my mom and with my brother, that in the big picture, their choices and the outcomes fit in with the overall pattern of the unfolding one presence. If our God is big enough, there's room for other people and whatever they believe and whatever they do. And if our God is big enough, there's room for whatever our silly beliefs are and whatever we do or don't do. As masks come off and we adjust to this new world, we will have chosen to have been vaccinated or not. And we'll be mingling with people that may or may not have immunity to COVID-19. That will be true at the store, and that will be true at church. How will we deal with that? As much as we might want everything to go back to the normal we remember, it's important to listen to our internal guidance about what's best for each of us at each step of the way. It's also important to respect each person's understanding of what's best for them. Maybe standing in a circle and holding hands at the end of service will be okay for some, but not okay for others. How do we accommodate this so we all feel safe being together? Maybe we keep extra hand sanitizer out so it's available for people to use it as they need to. Maybe there are other solutions. What about hugging before or after service like we used to, if we don't know who's been vaccinated and who hasn't? Does it matter? This might really matter a lot for some people, and for others it won't be a big deal at all. We will have to sort this out together in prayer, in love, in patience, and with compassion. And above all, follow your heart and where it leads you. Thank you.
I'd like to build a world home, furnish it with love, grow apple trees and honeybees and snow and doves. I'd like to teach the world to sing perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company. I'd like to the world for once all standing hand in hand, and hear them echo through the hills for peace throughout the land. That's the song I hear. Let the world sing today, a song of peace that echoes on and never goes away. That's the song I hear. Let the world sing today, a song of peace that echoes on and never goes away. The song of peace that echoes on and never goes away.
Yay! Oh, that's perfect. You know, I think we can all have this mental vision now of, I won't say Coke ad, right? But everybody holding hands all around. And I was just talking with someone yesterday, and she said, can you remember that instead of angry protests that interrupt traffic and business and so on, when people stood and held hands in really long lines, and I don't remember what decade that was, but the effort was, you know, across bridges and across cities and hundreds and 1970s, something like that. Yes, and we can just envision that again, that we can all just hold hands clear across the world and feel compassion for all of us in that long line of humanity. Thank you. And now we have a chance to share. Let's see. Kept my check in my pocket this morning so I could. And Joni, would you take up the? We're gonna be like normal. We're gonna. First of all, we're gonna hold in our hands our offering and say together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And now you can stand up and wiggle a little bit and stretch. And we'll just envision ourselves holding hands with the whole world while we sing the peace song. How's that? Okay. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let this begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And now let's say the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Bless you. Have a wonderful week and a great Memorial Day.